Hi, I'm Jayne from Poppy Patchwork, and in today's video I'm going to introduce to you a series of videos which takes some scrap fabrics and turns them into quilt magic. I like quilts and I like fabric, and I buy fabric, and I'm sure you do as well. And recently I've bought a lot of fabric. I'm feeling just a little bit guilty. I thought I must take a look at my stash and see if there's any fabric that I can use there. Now there is fabric in my stash that I probably am never going to use. It's really dated. However, I did come across this fabric by Tilda called Tiny Treasures, and I thought, yeah, I could use this. And in fact, I've used it recently in my book, Let's Make a Quilt. So this is my book, Let's Make a Quilt, and you can see the quilt is hanging behind me. The fabrics in that are really, really lovely. So I was going through my stash and this is what I found. Just take all those papers out of it. This is what I found. Oh, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? So I've got lots of this kind of red dotty fabric, just in small pieces, like this. And then I've got this, I'll just move that to one side. I've got this floral fabric, which is quite nice. Let me move this box out of the way. So these are the fabrics. We've got those. We've got a little bit of this red here, and we've got the blue. So as you can see, it looks really nice. It's kind of like a faded palette, and yeah, I think I could enjoy working with this fabric. So I needed to come up with some blocks I was going to make. So I fired up my EQ8 program on my computer, and I designed some blocks on EQ8 for this. So now that I've designed it in EQ8, I could use EQ8 to give me the fabric quantities that I want to use, but I don't like the way that EQ8 calculates the fabric, so I do it myself. And how I do it is I go back to using my quilt block notebook, and so this is available on Amazon. Now inside the quilt block notebook I can draw out the quilt, the block, and then I can work out what size that block needs to be, and then from that I can work out what size each of the units needs to be, and I just write them down in the notes below. So this other book that I've just published that I'm really excited about is called the Quilter's Reference Book. Now in the Quilter's Reference Book I have given you some pictures, lovely pictures of some of the quilts that I've made, but also I've given you the cutting charts and measurements for lots of really useful units in blocks. So introductory pages there. So here's the cutting charts, and I've done it for half square triangles, I've done it for quarter square triangles, I've done it for flying geese, I've done it for different methods of these things as well. So flying geese, I've given you the one at a time method. For quarter square triangles I've given you using 2, 3 and 4 fabrics. For half square triangles I've given you the edge method, the drawn line method and the magic 8 method. And then I've also given you cutting charts for corner squares, economy squares, half rectangle triangles and cat's cradle. And within each of these you get the grid and you also get a little diagram of what it's going to look like, and I give you how to make it as well. So how to make up your corner, your economy square in this instance, but how to make the unit. So it's actually a really good book, and I think I also tell you how to trim them as well. So if you fancy getting this book, then click on the QR code. So I use this book to draw out the block, and then I use this book to work out the size of the units. So these two books. So I use Excel to calculate all of the quantities that I need for the block, and that multiplies up to how many blocks I need in the quilt. And then once I know what I need, you're still using Excel, I just work out how big a piece of fabric I've got, say a fat quarter, and then I kind of do a little depiction in Excel that shows me how I'm going to cut up that fat quarter in the most efficient way possible. So it sounds quite complicated, and if you don't know how to use Excel, probably is a little bit complicated, but I use Excel in my day-to-day job quite a lot, so I've been able to do that. But what I have done is I'm going to create a pattern for you, and that would include these cutting charts that you can use when it comes to making sure you get the most efficient use of your fabric. And I'll come on to that a little bit later. But whilst I was calculating all of that, I realised I did not have enough of the red fabric. So when I went to the Festival of Quilts, I took a little bit of this red fabric here, a little bit of this red fabric, see if I could match something up to it. Obviously, they weren't going to have that piece of fabric, it's 10 years old, but I did find this fabric. And it's not a perfect match, but I think it will go nicely with the fabric that I've chosen to use. I was also looking for a background fabric, and I wasn't very successful at the Festival of Quilts for that. But on holiday I did find some William Morris background fabric. Let me just grab that. So this is the fabric I found in a shop in Yorkshire, and I think it goes quite nicely. I would have to buy a little bit more of that to make sure that I had enough for this project and for any other projects that I think this would be useful for. So I might well use this. I'm not completely decided on that, but I think I probably will. I had thought about using a combination of different backgrounds, but in the end I thought I wanted the same background throughout, so I do need to make sure I've got enough background fabric for that. So as I said, these videos are going to be available on my Poppy Patchwork YouTube channel, and you will be able to get a free cutting sheet for each of these blocks. And if you subscribe to my email newsletter list, then you will get the free cutting instructions for that. But if you don't want to wait for each video to be published before you make the quilt, or if you wanted to cut everything out in advance to get the most efficient use of your fabric, you can buy the PDF or the book version of the quilt. That book will provide you with all the cutting instructions, all the making up instructions with photos, and photos of the completed quilt as well. So if you wanted to do that, you could purchase the book or purchase the PDF. Alternatively, you can wait for each video to come out and download the cutting sheet that accompanies the video. So I hope you like this video, and I would love you to hit like and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. By hitting the notification bell, it tells YouTube that you want to see more of my videos. But unfortunately, YouTube won't show you every single video that comes out. And that's why it'd be really great if, as well as subscribing to the YouTube channel, you also subscribe to my email newsletter. And every time I publish a video, you will get an email to tell you it's been published and to give you the link so that you can go and watch it, and then you'll never miss out. So I hope you are excited to make this quilt. I certainly am. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Happy quilting!